Hey everybody, JJ here. Back again with another Saturday of Zoom networking with the man, the myth, the legend himself. Our guest speaker is one of the young rising rock stars in Pace Morby Sub 2 community. Like the rest of us, started as a student, has become an investor, and now a very successful entrepreneur, one of the leaders in Sub 2. He's an owner's club. He's just rocking the world, the star man himself, Matt Starobykhovskiy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the very, very gracious introduction, brother. I'm grateful to be here with your group and hopefully provide as much value as I can along the way. It's gonna be really
Brother, just being here is value, man. We had a chance to talk recently at pretty great length, and yeah, you're not only sharp and smart, you're one of the nicest guys I know. And I'm sure your family is very, very proud of you because as an older guy looking at you, you're the kind of guy that any person would love to have it for a son because you're just leading by example with character and integrity, and you're doing it the right way.
means more than I can express to hear that kind of feedback, brother. Yeah, I try to have my ethics and my morals guide every decision that I make. I've been down the path in business where I treated everything very transactionally and I paid the price for it. I shared that with you when you and I talked. So now recognizing the value of people and relationships and that being the focus of business, it's changed my life, and by the grace of God, it's going to continue to.
There you go. It's crazy. I see a lot of investors put on their Facebook page, transactional lender, transactional investor. I'm like, why don't you just say you don't care about people?
Basically.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, really quick, let's talk about you. Um,
Yeah.
for those that don't know you, where in the country you located?
I live in Los Angeles, California, born and raised.
Yeah, brother, we can need to hang out. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Ivy Academia. It's in West Hills, right
Okay.
next to El Camino, if you know where that is.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. And again, you and I need to hang out because I'm in LA. There's a Hollywood sign behind me.
I see that.
Um, we met through Sub 2, but you had a life before that.
Yeah.
Growing up in LA, from your teens into your 20s, was real estate on the landscape for you? What were
No,
you what were you doing through those years before you made the move?
not at all. So, I mean, I've always been blessed to be in leadership positions, whether it be in like middle school or high school, class president. I weighed 300 pounds, but I was still co-captain of my JV and varsity basketball teams. Then getting into college, I had gone through a weight loss phase and I lost 125 pounds. I became very, very passionate with that industry. I ended up growing there, building multiple six-figure businesses in personal training. I had an online coaching program, and then I ran a meal prep service here in LA. I would drop off houses down where you live, all the way to like Westlake Village, to Simi Valley. And this was like in college, JJ. So I was waking up at like 4 a.m., dropping off food all.
Wow.
It was a ride.
Wow.
I had thought that that was going to be my lifelong journey and path because it's something that I genuinely was so passionate about, and it really did change my life. Losing weight was the most important thing I could have done, and it's part of the reason why I'm here. But real estate came into the picture in 2021 when my younger brother, who was 18 years old at the time, got hired as a dispositions manager for a wholesale company here in LA County. And JJ, I'll be honest, within maybe 4 or 5, 6 months, my younger brother was making more money than me. And so that in itself, that like flipped the switch. And I was like, whatever this real estate stuff is, dude, I gotta give it a chance.
I gotta do this.
It was, but unfortunately, because my intentions were, I want to go make money. Oh, I want to get into this real estate stuff because of the dollars and cents. I ended up attracting some really poor relationships into my life. And my character had gotten so transactional, as it looks like that's the theme of our conversation right now, that I ended up getting into a really dark place in real estate. My first year in real estate, JJ, I opened up a bunch of credit cards, burned through all of that, personal lines of credit. Then I had to sell all of my cryptocurrency, all of my stocks, all of my life savings. I lost about 120 grand liquid, just burning cash, hire a mentor, get into a real estate group, all the different things, just trying to solve a problem that I wasn't ready to solve. And then eventually I had a lead, a pay-per-click marketing lead in Tucson, Arizona. And the seller, he'll always stay with me because this is the deal that changed my life. I was doing deals and running my business, but I was just losing so much money along the way. Just no clue what I was doing, no experience, completely different industry. And I remember JJ, I had this lead. His name was Alan Lavario, and he was selling his home that him and his mother had lived in. She needed to get into a transitional housing situation, whether it be assisted or whatever. I don't remember the minutia at this point, but what I do remember is that my cash offer that I was berating every seller with just didn't fit. The novation just didn't fit. He needed something that was more creative. And so, like probably all of us here on Zoom, I was on YouTube University, ran into our mentor and friend Pace Morby, and watching those YouTube videos online, similar to watching your content online, I was able to retain enough information to actually do my first seller finance deal. And I sold that deal, right? And then using the money from that deal, I got into sub two. And this was like my last push. I'm going to give it everything I got. At this point, I'd been kicked out of home by my family because they were like, you messed up your whole life. I was sleeping in my car, living in Arizona because I joined sub two. So I might as well go as close to the pace Morby as possible. And by the grace of God, brother, it's been an incredible journey since.
Wow, wow. So you've
Yeah.
obviously got a chance to meet Pace.
Yeah, I got to meet him really early on when I first joined Sub 2 because, well, when I was living in my car with my, funny enough, with my younger brother, long story how that got there, but we were sleeping in the car together, but we still needed to do real estate. And obviously we didn't have Wi-Fi, we didn't have a fridge. So what we did is we got a WeWork membership in Tempe, Arizona, and we used that as kind of our base of operations. And during that time, Kevin Cho was hosting his first meetups. And so I got to meet Kevin and then pace throughout that. And yeah, since then, it's been a really fun ride. Fast forward a little bit down that journey, I've done about 65. By the end of the month, I'll do about 70 creative finance deals. Just closed my first multifamily property this week that we're holding on to and escrow on a second one. I've helped, 25 to 30 new students in the community get their first deal. I taught the sub two semester course for low equity, and that was like the first round of the semesters. It was a crazy experience. And yeah, I'm excited to continue to build and provide as
That's
much
so
value along
great.
the way to the people that help build me up.
And you're leading with value and building relationships along the way. I think that's fantastic. I know a number of people in my group that I would probably like to point in your direction looking for their first deal. And again, these are people in my mind that stick out because they built the relationship with me.
Yep,
So I'm going to direct them to someone that I have a relationship, and that's just how that works.
yep,
You know,
yep.
it's amazing how many people. I'm just going to throw this in here. I'm always reaching out to new people that are reaching out to me because I get these anonymous friend requests, and I reach out. I have two choices, like everybody else. I could delete them, or I could say, "Hey, this is what I do. I have a networking group. Do you want to connect with me? Would you like to join my group?" And they don't respond. And after a while, I like, okay, well, here's the deal. You get step forward, or this is my last time calling out to you. And it's funny. I woke up this morning and someone said something along the lines of, "Go ahead and delete me."
Wow. Okay, man.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, we're not going to resonate with everybody, is what it amounts
Yes,
to.
yes.
And we have to find, I mean, not everybody loves Pace, not everybody loves Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to love you, and not everybody loves me. We,
100%. I think the vibe attracts your tribe, and I
yeah.
think that we cannot get mad at people because a zebra didn't change its stripes, right? That person wasn't meant to conform to your vision and the way you do business, and that's okay. They're gonna find their people, and God willing, they do well for it.
Yeah, it's crazy. We got over 40 people on the call right now,
Heck yeah.
and that's a good call. And these are people that want to be here, and I know literally every single name of the people on here, and they're all good people, and I do my best to connect them to one another because it's as a team and as a family that we will grow together.
100%.
Yeah.
I would not be where I'm at without being very intentional with meeting people and people that are generally a step or two ahead of me. And I would pour myself into them, give them everything I could, recognizing that these are people that are going to help me along my way, whether it's directly help or connect me the way that you're connecting your group today. So I think it's a blessing to be a part of this type of networking community. And I think that being very intentional with our relationship building is the first step in any business
Yeah.
owner's.
So let's get right down from the frying pan into the fire, brother.
Do
Your
it.
topic today is raising capital
Yeah,
for co-ownership.
let's do it.
Now we've got some people on the call that are brand new. We have many experienced people on the call. We got Warren Christopher on the call right now. He's been doing this for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
He's been around the block twice, I think. But we have some brand new people on the call.
Yeah.
Watching on YouTube, weeks and months down the line, we will have brand new people. So for the sake of those that are new, we talk about raising capital. We know what raising capital is. What's co-ownership?
Yeah, co-ownership, the way that I raise capital, and I don't always do this, but the way that my heart feels in alignment with raising money is not just having people's money on as debt and then paying them back, but having a learn while you earn model, a partnership model, where whether you're a newer person and you're just getting into real estate and you do have some cash, but maybe not enough experience or time or resources to do it on your own, what I do is I open up investment opportunities for people to collaborate with me. I've failed forward. I've already gone homeless because of real estate. I don't want you to be in that same position. So learn from my mistakes, skip that line, and you can get into some deals that, we're doing now.
So Matt, you're talking about raising co-ownership
Yeah.
or we're raising capital for co-ownership.
Mhm.
So is this what other people would look to do as they're getting that they're new that they want to raise capital?
Yeah, so if I were to start my journey over, like go back to 2022 when I joined Sub 2, or even 21 when I first got into real estate, I think the way that I would get into real estate is not the same way I did today. I got into real estate being a wholesaler, and it taught me how to structure deals, how to negotiate, sales, marketing, so many invaluable skills, and I'm grateful for that. But if I were to be in somebody's seat today who's like, I'm just getting started with real estate, what I would say is be a capital raiser. Because in being a capital raiser, you're able to accelerate your growth curve tenfold. You being able to raise capital for, let's say, JJ's next deal now allows you to leverage JJ's reputation, his brand, and his experience. And all you need to do is bring people from your sphere of influence into his deal. Now, guess what? You're a partner on JJ's deals. You've just skipped so many steps that a lot of investors are failing forward through. So if I were to start over, that's what I would do is I would raise money and leverage awesome people's backgrounds. I think that specifically for the co-ownership model, I really love fractional. I see Don put it in the side chat. Yeah, Don, I just closed my first larger fractional deal. We went live in May. We had it open for just about 10 or 12 days, and we ended up raising 750 grand when our goal was 398 to close the opportunity. But something to mention about fractional is that although it's an incredible platform that helps you have the back end that you need, it isn't going to be the reason why you raise the money. It's because you have the relationship. So for me, for example, in my raise, we went significantly over, but the reason why we did is because out of the 24 people that invested with me that we accepted, I knew 20 of them prior. Whether I had done business with them or I'd been on a Zoom with them and developed a relationship, so they knew me, liked me, and trusted me. So if you guys are raising capital, your sphere of influence is the first pool of people that you should be tapping into, educating about real estate, talking about all the cool things that you've been exposed to. The way that I look at it is, we're 6 degrees away from everybody. I know JJ. JJ has a business partner named Brian, and Brian might not have the person that'll change my life. And so what I need to do is I need to be intentional developing relationships and start with my sphere. So me raising capital, I start with the people I know, like, and trust, and I tell them, hey, can you talk about what I do? I'll pay you a referral. Now, guess what? You've got into your second sphere. And that second sphere expands and expands. And guess what? After 6 degrees, you know every single person on planet Earth, guys.
Yeah.
So there's an abundance of money, abundance of deals, abundance of resources. It's being intentional with them.
It's so I would say crazy that you say that because so many people are like, "Oh, I need money for my deal. I need money for my deal." The amount of money that's out there is ridiculous.
Yes.
Money is available at every turn, every corner, but that's all predicated about building a relationship
Yes.
first.
Yes.
Hey, we got a couple of questions here. Let's bring a couple of people on. Don, you are on with Matt Starr. What's your question?
Hey JJ, thank you for doing this. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you, Mr.
Okay, because I'm in my car, so I don't know if I'm like echoing, but um, so I was in another network since 2022, so I'm very well known there,
Mhm.
and I've never had a hard time finding money in that group because I was very intentional. I was just doing it without even being intentional, just like connecting with people and try to provide value because I've done a few fix and flips. My first one was an absolute nightmare. I used same issue, racked up my credit cards because I ran out of money in the draw, and like so many people just helped me that I just wanted to kind of pay it forward in that community and just continue to do that. And
Amazing.
so my second, well, like I've literally never, um, I mean, I've partnered with about 50 people on ground up builds and fix and flips. And I've never used any of my money. Just the first one when I lost the 20 grand.
Heck yeah.
Um, but same as you know, like I kind of, and I've always done this, learn the hard way on things, right? I always learn what not to do to learn what to do, right? And so I thought, wow, this, I've been very fortunate because I know a lot of people have a hard time raising capital. I'm like, I think this is like what I need to be doing because I found it pretty easily to do. So that's why I had joined Sub 2 to learn how to capital raise. And
Hmm.
it's been amazing. And this is the year of like growth and like learning how to build a business because I've always been a W-2 worker. So that's why I joined Owners Club. I've just been super quiet, just like, taking it all in and like just learning all the things.
Good.
It's been amazing. But I also want to do a fund because in raising my capital, I mean, I've done about 3.8 million throughout my journey,
Hmm.
but that's per deal. So I'm like, I want to not do it per deal.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about doing a fund. So of course I joined Raise Masters to learn how to do a fund
Heck yeah.
prior to prior to like, joining Owners Club. So I'm
Mhm.
like, and then I hear about fractional. I'm like, crap, maybe I didn't need to learn. Maybe I didn't need to pay into Raise Masters to like learn how to do the fund. And
Hmm.
so I didn't know, like, maybe if you could
Yeah.
help me make that determination whether fractional is better or just go for the fund.
I love that. So I first of all, I think it's been an incredible journey for you, and I think you and I offline we'd probably talk and see a lot more things in alignment. You're amazing. Welcome to the OC family. This is my second year in OC, and the group's definitely changed my life. It's the same thing as what JJ has done for this group. It's created a filter of people that care about the people they do business with, not so much the dollars and cents. So I think you're doing the right things in terms of putting yourself in the right rooms. And Don, clearly you've already developed and nurtured relationships. When it comes to fractional versus a fund, I think the foundation is fractional allows you to do things on a joint venture basis and aggregate funds that are at a lower cost, right? I have investors, one of my investors brought in 200 grand, the other investors brought 5 grand, right? And so I love the fractional model because it lowers the threshold and allows for people that may be newer into the space and don't have a ton of money to get into it. So I don't think that it's exclusive. Do you know Casey Gregerson by any chance? He's a good friend. Casey this week has dropped a fractional offering where he's allowing people to invest with him, but he also has an accredited fund. And so I think they're two different vehicles for two different types of
Mhm.
investments.
Mhm.
I can say for
Okay.
me, for example, we're putting together a 506c right now because we're doing a very large multifamily deal in Texas. And in that, as much as I'd love to bring my friends on fractional along, we're going to have to raise $12 million dollars to get that deal done. And so it just isn't the same type of vehicle for it to be physically feasible. But I would say that I love fractional. I would say that closing with them has been such an incredible experience because they're handling distributions, they're handling K1s, they're handling the BOI, they're handling
Yeah.
so many things that otherwise do fall on your and my lap, that I would say it's a great route, Don. But if you're
I
starting
love
down
that
this
you said
route,
that.
my best advice, and this is for you, Don, and probably for every single person that's considering capital raising, whether you're new or not, if you are starting to raise capital, don't raise capital for people that you aren't interested in imitating. What I mean by this is this. If I run a business where I buy multifamily and Don is like, I love RV parks, Don should not be raising capital for Matt's business. Don should be raising it for a high-level RV park operator so that she can say, hey, look, JJ, you're amazing at RV parks. I'll bring you all the money from my network, but in return, I want to be a partner A, but more importantly, I want to learn how you do it. Take me through that journey because then, guys, the value you guys get is not just quantitative in terms of I made money, but it's qualitative, as in I know how to do this now. And that's so much more valuable. That was my mindset, whether it came to learning about Morby methods or learning about multifamily. I would give people away the majority ownership of my deals, or I would assign it for a lot less. But I would say, I want to swim along with you. And so that would be my advice, though.
Manuel, you're on with Matt Starr. What's your question, Manuel?
Well, I'm here also in California, and I've been thinking about these, you know, what do you guys call that? Fractional things and stuff like that. Sometimes I have to think too much to get a word out of me, because my like he says my natural language is Spanish, but I'm trying to handle myself in English. And so, how can I get in contact with you and get more acquainted? Like probably work something together or something.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I appreciate that you're interested in working together, brother. Also, your background makes me so jealous. Like, I want to be there now. Like, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
That sounds like a vibe.
yeah,
First of all, I think it's incredible that you're pushing yourself outside of your native tongue. I'm first generation English speaking as well. Russian is actually my first language. And I think that you have a massive advantage, brother, in being Spanish speaking and having that native tongue because you can open up to the community that right now may not believe that real estate is accessible to them. My business partner, Carlos, and I, our entire exit strategy with single family homes is a platform we've developed called buytherate.com, where we work with a lot of Spanish speaking families in providing them housing and helping them become investors themselves. So I would say that. But in terms of getting in touch with me, brother, I'm always for collaboration. It just depends on what that looks like. I will say that because we had a very blessed raise on fractional, and we did really well in terms of how to position ourselves, we're planning on doing a second one in the very near term. And that's one way that we can collaborate is you can invest with us. Another way that we can collaborate is you may have a project and you may want some help with capital raising. And if I feel like that's a project that's in alignment with my mission and vision, I would love to collaborate that way and help you get the exposure and the investors that you need. And then the last way that we can work together is I can just guide you along the way. I had three people in Owners Club this week reach out to me about fractional and how to leverage the platform and best practices. And I have three Zooms on Monday where I'm helping folks out in the evening with that. So I'm happy to be a resource. It's not just for the Owners Club community, it's just I know them a little bit more personally. So I'm excited to get to know you. And any way I can be a resource, brother, I'm here for it.
yeah. I appreciate, it, and that'd be awesome. But
Yeah.
because see, I hear you help quite a few people to do their first deal, and I'm a little different than anybody else because not only because I don't speak English, but also because I'm not like all these young people that like you guys that got all the energy and stuff. So for me, it's very hard to like I couldn't find no right to go meet JJ's in person on the 20th, and I'm staying right here, okay? Because I
Hmm.
can hardly walk. I couldn't stand up for more than 5 minutes. I mean, my legs and everything is giving up. And so the reason I'm in this business is because back in the 90s, I I did real estate investing right here in my area,
Hmm.
and I think I did pretty good. I did mainly lease options, and then I thought I was rich, but I wasn't. So anyway, I lost everything to the point that all the money I got is behind me. Okay, you
Yeah.
notice it's not in front of me; it's behind. So
You're fine.
I like to get it like right here. Okay,
I hear that.
so the reason I'm in this journey is because I wanted to feel myself alive. I was
Yes.
giving up. I was like going to die. I was dying over here in my room. Okay, and then I start thinking and thinking, and there was no open doors until
Hmm.
I thought about real estate investing. And well, I did real estate investing in the 90s. So why don't I just get back right now and stay busy? So the
Yes.
reason for me to get up in the morning is to do this. Okay.
God.
So if I make one deal a year, I'm grateful. Okay. If I make five or ten, I'm not going to close my eyes to it. Okay, so
I hear
so so
that.
so that's what it is. Now I think I get a little deep into that pool right there myself right now because it's been 2 weeks that something come to my mind, and then I started inviting people, new people. Actually, I'm going to the new people in Subto or whoever, and I'm doing a Zoom every Friday at 6 p.m.
Nice.
just just to guide them,
Yeah,
okay?
love that.
And I wanted to guide everybody into the bird dogging,
Beautiful.
because the bird dogging is probably the best way to start. Okay, you got to start at the bottom.
I think you're acting like a true leader, and I think that your experience is so invaluable in this next season of your journey, brother. I want to say that you'll be in my prayers. I think it's incredible that although you have every excuse as to why not to get up and every excuse as to why not push yourself, you are, and you're doing it at a high level, and you're not just doing it for yourself. Sure, you want the money from behind you to the front of you, but evidently you also want to bring up as many people along the way. And that's why I have faith that a person like you and a leader like you will end up doing incredible in this business, brother.
Hey
And
guys,
then from you, JJ, I need I need I need for you to teach me how to set the Zoom calls, because a lot of people cannot even come in with
I
the
was
way
just
I
going to
do it.
say that same thing. Let me help you with your Zoom. Let me teach you how to lead a Zoom. Let me teach you how to lead a group. Let me give you every tip and trick that I know that I can give you for absolutely free. Also, Matt and Manuel, I've put you two each on a three-way thread with me. So now, Matt, you're
Okay.
going to have his number. He's going to have your number. I've also tagged both of you guys in the posts on my personal page,
Right.
so you can find one another's Facebook page.
Perfect.
Yeah, well,
So,
I already received that blink card from him, and
okay.
I think I sent my blink card also already. So I like to stay in touch with you guys, because I need a lot of help on these, like to help other people.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That that'll fill me up, and then for sure I'll be on your Bible studies.
God willing, God willing. I
Yeah,
heard, Manuel, that you're leading people into bird dogging. In my meetup that I host, a lot of the newer people, they do bird dogging. And so for anybody on this Zoom that is doing bird dogging or wants to learn from Manuel how to bird dog, I have some advice, guys, because I'm in Owners Club, right? And so Pace teaches you guys to send us deals. And yes, I'm buying. I buy in Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina. I buy in the Panhandle of Florida. I'm buying in Southern California. So yes. But
you
when
got
you
to send me your buy box.
Oh, absolutely. My buy box is actually on my Blink, so you'll see every kind of deal that I'm buying. We're in escrow right now on 8 deals and then a 204 unit property. But irrespective, my advice with bird dogging, please, for the love of God, do not just email deals to me. Like if you just forward me a deal, for me, I think, okay, like what would you like me to do with this? I'll be honest. I probably saw it somewhere online already. So as a bird dog, again, don't think just quantitatively. Think how can I get qualitative value with every action that I take? And so when you're a bird dog and you're sending someone a deal, first take the time to look over their buy box and reflect if it is in alignment with their business. If you believe that it is, say that in the email. Copy and paste the email, and then at the bottom say, "Hey Matt, I think this deal fits your buy box. This is why. What do you think?" And instead of me just responding to your email no or something like that, now you're forcing me to engage in a relationship with you. I'm now giving you advice. And then when I say no to you or I say yes to you, you can ask, "Hey, how can I provide you a deal that's in better alignment?" And now guess what? You're now learning real estate by being a bird dog, not just forwarding deals. So that would be my best advice to bird dogs is be very intentional with your time because it is valuable.
We got to work together, because see, the reason I start this Zoom to teach these people is because uh, Pace. I mean, I love Pace, and he's the best for me, but I think he's teaching it wrong, the bird dogging, because he personally told me. I talked to him on the phone, and he says, "Manuel, don't stress yourself on these. All you have to do, you just go to the Facebook, sub to Facebook,
Mhm.
or sub to page, and all those deals right there, just copy them and paste them, copy and paste them, and so you can help me, like teaching me more on these,
Yes.
what to do."
I agree with Pace's strategy. It's not like you and I are not agreeing. I am so grateful that Pace Morby came into my life. I consider him a friend, a mentor, and an absolute guide, and he's a leader to all of us here. What I'm saying, Manuel, is for the people you're guiding, you say, hey, do what Pace said, and then add one more step. Because what Pace is teaching is how to get a deal really fast. And I think deals are important, but I'll be honest, I did not get to where I am because I chased deals. Like the reason why we're all in Zoom together, I chased the people. And the people can teach me so much more. So me sending the deal, copy and pasting it, and then at the bottom of the deal saying, this is why I think it's a fit. It shows the buyer, hey, I was intentional. Hey, I care about your buy box and I want you to succeed. And then, hey, if I'm not doing something according to your standards, how can I serve you better? And that servant mindset, that servant leadership is going to get you so much further as a bird dog. Because I have a hard time responding to people that just copy and paste me a deal. I really don't know what to tell them other than yes or no. And that doesn't.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to work with you and get your advices.
Yeah. I'll do my best, brother. I'll do my
Okay,
absolute.
please, please. So thank you both of you guys. I mean, I'm getting more active thanks to this gentleman right here because he's pushing me, and
Yeah, I want to
he
say, Manuel, you've done a great job, brother. From when I first met you and you were invisible and sitting in the background, I see your posts all over social media. I see your posts in Sub 2. I see your posts in my group. I see your posts on your own page. You're marketing yourself. You're being visible. I commend you. I applaud you. I recognize you. As you said, English isn't your first language, but brother, no one would know that because outside of the little accent, you're able to converse with everybody. I do try and connect with people that speak Spanish, but everybody else on the call, everybody on this call right now, contact Manuel, shoot him a text message, add him as a friend on Facebook.
no tiene, pues,
Let's help him
no
build his
tiene,
network.
no sabe nada.
Kirby, Betty, how you doing? You're on with Matt Starr.
Hey, we're doing pretty good. How you doing, Matthew? We'll try to
Yes.
make it quick. Uh, Long story short, my wife and I and my son, we kind of jumped into sub two all around the same time. So as you get that shiny object syndrome, and you start looking at all these different things. But overall, I feel that I had done some fix and flips prior to getting into this, so I find myself falling back on what I already know instead of learning something new or going after something. Like, I came in the game wanting to concentrate on multifamily.
Hmm.
So recently I got to, we're actually looking for a project, teamed up with another sub two member, and they have 25 years of experience in fix and flips.
Nice.
But I find that they kind of fell back to what they know. But we both, all of us, really want to get into multifamily. So that being said, recently, like this week, we started to raise capital before you actually need it, right?
Right.
So I wanted to find out, I don't want to spin my wheels and go nowhere. So if I really want to get into multifamily, but I currently am doing fix and flips, for example, what would be the path I would take to raise capital, knowing that where I want to go? What would be your advice on that?
Hmm. You are
Matt,
who you say you are. Say that again.
Matt,
Yeah.
let me jump in there for a second.
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to raising capital for fix and flips, you'll need two types of capital. Part of it's the gap, part of it's, the hard money, the rehab. I'm just going to throw this out there. Networking leads to visibility, visibility leads to opportunity. I've been very visible for 8 years. I've networked really, really hard to build relationships. And in this past beginning of this year, I've had a couple guys that are extremely successful, have started a fund and a lending company to fund fix and flips. I've been invited to be a part of that company. So Kirby, I now own a company that funds fix and flips. So you need money for your fix and flips, brother. You're talking to the man,
No,
right?
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
And my team can help you with the financial aspect, but they'll help you learn about different ways to go about it, not just exclusively this is the way to go. But the big thing is we're only going to do business with people we know. And anyone who's doing business, you need to do business with people you know, which is why it's important to build the relationship before you chase the deal.
Hmm.
So,
And that leads back to exactly what I was asking, because so I started to relationships with people like yourself, and then I started to figure. Well, I got a little bit confused with should I go down that route? Should I just raise money on like with my friends and family,
Yeah.
or should I just get into a fund and go down that route? So
Yeah.
that's what really what I'm trying to ask.
I love the question, brother. So I think it starts with the end in mind. So when I guide people who are getting into a new phase of life, so you were very successful in one realm, and now you're trying to get into another world in real estate. Your focus should be, okay, what is my end goal? So let's say your end goal with your wife is to own X number of units. Okay, well, what kind of asset class? Well, where? And then you take it even deeper. Am I doing value add or am I looking for stabilized deals? And you titrate down to this point where you now know exactly what you're looking for, how much of it you're looking for, and what the long-term vision is. And then you reverse engineer it, right? So you and your wife, you guys should have a 30-day, 90-day, and year game plan on how you phase out of fix and flip and into multifamily. It starts with what you say, right? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so, what your heart is telling you you are, who you are, is what you guys are going to become. And what I do is, I'm a single family guy, right? I said I'm going to have 70 deals done by the end of this month. Well, I'll be honest, brother, 69 of them are single family deals, you know? So, I'm branding myself. I'm being vocal about the fact that although I will do single family for a long time and I'll continue to do it, my long-term vision in terms of what I want to establish myself in is doing wraparound mortgages and being a multifamily investor. And so being vocal about it with the brokers that I talk to. So perfect example, Kirby. There's an agent that I work with in Texas. He has sold me 5 single family homes so far. He brought me a deal that I ended up closing this week, that 15-unit property. Because I started being vocal with him about my vision and about what my next steps are, he then continued to talk about where I'm at and how many deals he's done. And because of the strength of our relationship, he ended up bringing me a 204-unit property. And he gave me, it's off market. And now I'm working directly with the seller on that deal. We're under contract. Right. So it started
Wonderful.
with me being a single family guy, the same way as you. And because I then tapped into the network I already have, it created a multiple, right? There's so many known unknowns between you and your wife's network. I would start there. But when it comes to raising capital, I think your question was like, how do I raise capital for multifamily? Or what was the exact?
Where I get confused is am I served better going and looking for capital with in mind that the end goal is multifamily,
Yes.
or that's what I'm really asking. Yeah.
That's 100%. 100%. You should be vocal about, hey, I'm raising capital, whether it's so a fund of funds is not a model that I went with because I just decided syndications made sense for me. But a fund of funds is an incredible model because what it does is it allows you and your wife to build a fund that then funds other people's larger funds and gets into those deals. So again, leveraging their credibility. That allows you to feel comfortable raising money from the people you love most and not feeling like there's a risk involved. Now, we also are all learning creative finance. So if I were to try to break through from a single family guy into multifamily, if you're going like the agency debt, which right now I'm working with, HUD and I'm working with Fannie and Freddie. Unless you have the net worth and the liquidity to work with those guys, you're going to end up hitting a brick wall and multifamily is going to be really hard to break into. That's the power of creative finance, is that nobody looks at your bank account, nobody looks at your credit, and yet you're still able to do these larger multifamily deals. So I would personally, be very vocal. I would, you and your wife, if you guys are a dynamic duo, one of you guys should be focused on sourcing deals, having conversations, because you're gonna have to go through a lot of opportunities before you find the right one that hits your buy box. And then one of you guys should be talking to every person in your sphere of influence about the fact that if you're investing in a CD or the S&P 500 or whatever, well, I can get you a better return secured by real estate and I can teach you how I'm doing it. And I think that right there is going to take your guys' journey so much further. But it starts with talking.
Yeah, yeah. That last piece is where we just started, but
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Matthew.
And we're definitely going to look into that Bible study you mentioned.
God
Oh,
willing.
yeah,
I
thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you guys there. And
By the
anyway,
way, was something on my computer was bothering me. I was telling Kirby, that thing is bothering me, get it out. So it was getting that attention instead of you. So it was something
Sorry.
on my end.
That's all right. Well, we can always get in touch, later. And if you guys join the Bible study, God willing, we can, get into that together and get to know each other more.
Great, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Kirby. Thomas, don't call me Tommy Hill. You're on with Matt Starr. What's your question?
Hey Matt, how you doing, man? I love your passion, bro. Can you hear me good?
Yep.
Absolutely, I can hear you marvelously. I love the tank, bro.
Uh,
You're making me look small right now. Pleasure to connect.
all right. So yeah, I'm on JJ Norton's fast track program. I've been on it since April of last year.
Nice.
My vision is sober living. And I love that what you're saying, having Bible study and everything like that. I want to get in touch with you, man. That's my heart, brother. To help people who have, struggled with drugs and alcoholism, like I have, and build that bridge, be bridge builders today.
Man,
So if we can connect, Matthew, and build that long-term relationship, I'd really love that. I don't see your number up there, but yeah, let's connect and let's do something that we can, you know, uh, provide for the kingdom. It's kingdom principles here, I believe.
amen, amen, amen. God willing, and I'm grateful that you vocalized. I shared my Blink card in the side chat, and I think JJ will post it at the end, brother. So definitely shoot me a text. I think that all of us here are investors and entrepreneurs and business owners, and we have to recognize that we are stewards. And if you are going to be blessed with an abundance of resources, or an abundance of wealth, or an abundance of relationships, you have a responsibility to steward them and to provide for the next person. Because as fast as it came, it'll go away. It's from dust to dust. So, Thomas, I love that journey. I think that there's both business ways that you and I can collaborate and more relational ways. My business partner,
Yeah,
Carlos, and I, when it comes to buying single family homes, we buy them for the intention of it being a wraparound mortgage. Or we sublease to operators like yourself who run sober living facilities. And so I think that there's multiple ways that we can work together. I'm excited to get to know you and hopefully build with you, brother.
yeah. That's why I love JJ's platform so much because it's about relationships, and building those long-term relationships. We're not after the deal. We're after the
Yeah.
relationships,
Right. Yeah,
and then a deal come.
that's right, brother.
You know,
Great.
that is the key to the Magic Kingdom. Separating yourself from the masses to find the people that you really resonate with, people that appreciate you, and those are the people you're going to move forward with in life. And that means finding people that have the same belief, the same mindset, same values, same appreciation. Um, a lot of the people in the investment community are looking chasing the dollar. And we need to find the people that are about the relationship because that's what I'm about. The most valuable thing I have to offer is my friendship. The most valuable thing that Tommy that you or Matt has to offer is a friendship. I don't care about the money. I care about good people in my life. So, yeah, I think we're all on the same page in that regard. So, Tommy, did we answer your question?
Yes, sir. That's great. I appreciate it. Let me share, Jerry, JJ.
Always, and can't wait to see you next week. Thank you so much. Warren Christopher, you're on with Matt Starr. What's your question?
Definitely a pleasure to be here. Thank you both. When you're talking about fractional, is that a platform or I've seen a little bit of it, but now I know how much I don't know. So if you could tell us more about that, I'd
Absolutely, brother.
appreciate
I'm
it.
glad that you asked. Fractional is a platform, it's a website, and they have a community platform there. And what it does is it allows for operators, investors like you and I, to raise capital on a joint venture basis rather than raising debt or equity based on SEC guidelines. And so what it does is it lowers the action threshold where, let's say Warren has 5 grand and he wants to partner with Matt on his next multifamily deal. Warren can do that, and he doesn't have to be an accredited investor to do so. I love the fractional model because the fractional that their company they handle the legal and they handle a lot of that stuff. So for
That's
us
what
as
I wanted to know.
operators, they help a ton. Their fees are not overtly abysmal. What I would say is if you guys are raising less than $150,000, I would not do it on fractional because then your returns are going to get impacted too much. So I would be mindful about the deal that you bring onto the platform. But fractional was developed by an incredible woman named Stella Hahn. I filmed a podcast with her last Friday and we talked a lot about her growth and she's a absolute leader within our sub 2 community, so I would, definitely get connected with her as well. But Fractional Warren is a platform that allows you to raise capital without the SEC guidelines for accredited investors or raising debt where there's no, notes against the property. So great platform if that's the vision and the way that you want to go down.
Definitely appreciate that. Now, but on that platform, for example, so would you would you create the deal, in other words, the JV structure, and then you take that to platform? Will somebody kind of help you through that?
Yeah, so they'll help you with like the formation of the entity and like gathering funds, but they aren't going to help you with how to structure your raise. So I
Okay.
came to them and I said, "Hey guys, I'm going to be doing this property. I want to offer 70% ownership to my investors. I want to retain 30%. And before I get paid a dime on that 30%, I want them to have a 9% preferred return." So that's how I
Awesome.
put my deal together, but that I brought to them, brother. So I would do the homework ahead of time, and then come to them once you have the deal ready. The other thing that they're doing, and this is actually going to be my next fractional raise, is you don't have to raise capital through fractional for a specific asset. What you could do is you can create an investment club where you're raising capital with the intention of using a specific strategy. So, for example, if you guys were really interested in growing your flips into wrap business or just wrap business where you sell homes on seller finance or you buy them in cash, refinance them, and then sell them on seller finance, I'm going to be starting a fractional raise where I'm going to be providing you the opportunity to invest in those deals with me and learn along the way. So instead of me raising for a specific fix and flip into wrap, I'm going to be raising a large sum of money to do multiple of these deals and you can learn along the way. So that's the other thing that fractional allows you to do, which I find to be honestly really incredible.
Very useful. I appreciate all that.
Of
You
course.
made you made this a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Thank you both.
A lot of homework, my friend. It's going to be fun.
Thank you, Warren. Always good to see you. Great call, brother. Great value. Gosh, sharing some serious gold nuggets. I'd actually posted to the sub 2 group that you're going to be on. We had a couple people jump in from the sub 2 group who I didn't know yet, but now I know them now. So they're going to be a part of our family. If people are watching, people on the call want to connect with you. If people watching on YouTube weeks and months down the line want to connect with you, what is the best way to reach you? Would it be your MySpace page or your
Yes. Send me
TikTok?
postcards. I have a pigeon that can fly to your house and you can send me a note that way.
There you go. So you are on Facebook, right?
I am on Facebook, and that is a great vehicle to reach out to me. I would say, guys, the best way to get in contact with me is on Instagram. That is my primary social media where I spend the most time engaging my audience. But Facebook is now something I'm being a lot more mindful about. So you guys can add me at House Huncho. Shoot me a DM if you have any questions, any way that I can be a resource along the way. On my link, and I need to make this change now. You guys can see the fractional project that I just closed with Carlos on Tuesday, and you guys can see how we put together the numbers and what mattered, how we marketed it. So if you are interested in raising capital, you can check out my project as a reference. And if you're interested in partnering with me so that I can help you raise the capital, I can say that I'd love to do it if the project is a good fit. The biggest thing with raising capital for another investor is that I'm attaching my brand and my reputation to your deal and your ability to operate the deal. So I am going to be very meticulous and mindful about our partnerships, but I hope to get to know some of you guys and work with you real soon. My website allows me to connect with more of my investor friends. So if you ever need a homestead buyer because you have a creative finance deal that you can't sell, I work with obviously families. And the good part about me working wraps is you don't necessarily have to worry about a cash on cash return. They need a beautiful house to live in. I have a form in there for if you're looking to buy deals from my wholesale company. So you're welcome to do that. I have another form in there for all the different things that are in my life, whether it's you need help closing. I've been on stage closing for the No One Left Behind challenge. So I do a lot of fun stuff. If you want to check out a deal that we did recently, JJ's scrolling by a video with me and a real estate agent who she's gotten like 20 creative finance offers. It was a 2.3% interest rate deal that I did late last year, early this year. And the agent was like, "Oh my gosh, I hate creative finance, the whole nine yards." And we talked through the entire journey and the objections that we had to overcome and the reason why she chose to do business with my company rather than another. So
There
if you
you
guys
go.
are sailing, that's a great video for you to check out as well.
Thank you so much, my friend. Been an absolute pleasure having you on. We're gonna jump to the back to the call. Guys, if you're on the call, do not disappear. We're gonna get more of Matt Starr and more of one-on-one with us again. Um, Again, if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, the best way to connect with Matt, uh, preferred mode of connecting with him is his Instagram, House Hunt Show. Please follow him. If you guys are on the call right now, please message Matt on Instagram. Please follow him and message him, and let's support him. Look at all the followers you got. Oh my gosh, you're killing it. Um,
From a lot from the last industry that I was in. I was really focused on social media back then. So I'm also happy to give you guys advice on scaling in social media and strategies there.
I'll take some I'll take some of that advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the best way to get hold of Matt. If you guys want to get a hold of me, scan the turquoise QR code. You can register for my group. If you want to join, subscribe to my YouTube channel, see all the videos of all the guest speakers we've had. Please scan the purple QR code. That will allow you to subscribe to and check out my YouTube channel. If you guys are watching on YouTube right now, please like Matt's video. Please put your comments down in the comment section about what you like, what you found beneficial, informative. If you have any suggestions on how I can bring you better content, speakers you'd like to see, how I can improve what I'm doing, um, please let me know. We're here to try and bring you the best content we can, the best speakers we can. And thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. You guys on the call, do not go away. We're going to come to you. I'll get all back again in just a second. Matt, for everybody on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and everything else, we'll see them on the world of virtual networking, right?
Forward to it. God bless you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you all. Over and out.